What is up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for coming and tuning in. This is the first ever podcast called Ash Talk, where we smoke and review cigars, all while talking about the wide world of sports and the happenings of sports. My name is Jacob Danielson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And alongside me is Hayden McAndrew.
Hayden McAndrew, so stoked you guys are here with us. We're excited. This is something totally new.
Totally new.
Something we've talked about a lot, like you out there. We really enjoy sports, and so we also enjoy a good cigar. So we said, hey, let's just put two and two together and just talk sports and connect with y'all.
So we have some stuff coming up for you. We're going to actually pick all the games coming up here, week 7 of the NFL. So we're going to make all the picks.
Week 7.
Week 7 already. So we're going to make all the picks against the spread. We're also going to each have a take it to the bank hot take. That's the take that we're going to take to the weekend. It's going to be outlandish, but we believe it.
That's right.
So we're going to be making
right.
that, and we're going to be smoking these cigars. And at the end of the show, we will review these cigars and let you know what we think. And Hayden, what are you smoking today?
I'm smoking a cigar called an Olmec. It's
Olmec.
Olmec. It's from the great country of Nicaragua. I've never smoked it before. Honestly, I was just browsing Wild Bill's, which shout out to Wild Bill's. For those who are like avid cigar smokers, you know, a lot of people want to order online. They want to go to the cigar lounge, all of that. Those are great things. But Wild Bill's, don't sleep. They have a great selection, I feel like, every single time. And so I'm going to be honest, I've never even heard of Olmec. So I wanted to give it a shot. I smoke a lot of cigars. I feel like I should know it, but I don't. So I can't wait to smoke it and see what it's all about and give you a review at the end. It's always nice to find a new cigar to smoke. So, yeah, what you smoking over there?
I am actually smoking a San Cristobal Revelation, and I have smoked this cigar before. It's also from Nicaragua. It has an Ecuador wrap. It's got like a medium boldness. And so I have smoked it before, but I haven't smoked it in a while. So I'm really excited to get into this and give it a shot. So San Cristobal,
Can't go wrong.
If you're just getting into cigars, and for me, I mean, I'm still pretty new I haven't been smoking cigars for very long, but there's so much knowledge. There's a guy on YouTube named Anthony from Holt Cigars in Philadelphia, and that's where I buy my cigars. And he literally goes through a bunch of videos on cigar etiquette and stuff like that. So I learned a lot. And Holt Cigars out of Philadelphia, great prices. That's where I get my cigars. And I'm excited to get into this. And so, as far as sports are concerned, we got a big week.
Big week.
A lot of good college football matchups coming up this weekend.
Yep.
And I mean, the biggest one, obviously, Georgia and Texas, but I mean, number 5 Georgia going and facing Texas. I think it's gonna be a good matchup.
Huge matchup. I feel like Texas is overhyped year after year, and they do nothing but disappoint. However, this year, after their mollywhopping of Michigan, which doesn't say a whole lot given kind of where Michigan is and the crisis that they're facing, Texas is no joke. What they did in Oklahoma and beat the absolute daylights out of the Sooners, they're just on a whole different level. They are unbelievable. I think they're going to beat Georgia by, I'd say, 9 points, but we can get there later.
we could talk about that later.
But I'm excited about the game. It's going to be freaking awesome.
And we got Alabama, Tennessee, we got Michigan, Illinois that we can get into. But I mean, as far as Georgia and Texas, I mean, Texas has impressed me a lot. But this is definitely a make or break game because, I mean, they're laying
for sure
4.5 points right now for Georgia. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Georgia was going to get 4.5 points, I would have said no way.
No way.
At the beginning of the season, I picked Georgia to win the national championship. I think I still feel like they could get there. This is in previous seasons, this is where Texas usually loses, right? This is where the wheels don't fully come off, but you start to see flaws.
Right.
And so that's why it's going to be such a good game. And I still like Georgia in this one. I feel like Texas has showed me a lot of great things, but this is a big game. And what I love about college football is that now with the 12-team playoff is that now this game, it matters, but it's not make or break in their seasons.
For sure.
So either one of these teams could lose and still make the playoff and still make a run.
Right. I mean, you got Bama lost.
Yep.
Georgia's lost.
Yep.
So a one-loss Texas, I mean, they're in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
They're in great shape. It's going to be interesting how the whole SEC championship comes down with all these teams and who beat who and how it all happened and determining, what that showdown is. So it's going to be interesting.
It's almost like college football is just trending towards it's just going to be the Big Ten and the SEC.
It is, for sure.
And that's all it's going to be, which it is weird seeing teams like UCLA and USC in the Big Ten. It's a little strange, but I think this is what we wanted as college football fans because I feel like teams are not as scared to schedule these harder opponents when they know they can still have a shot at a national championship
For sure.
with 2 losses. And
For
so
sure.
we as the college football fans, we get rewarded in seeing these great games because a lot of times, especially how I felt in the last few seasons, it's like these type of games we didn't really get until late October, early November when you started seeing the rivalries of Alabama, Georgia, and Michigan, Ohio State, and stuff like that. So as a college football fan, I think it's great, and it's going to be super exciting.
I think it's great because this is a time to really see teams either put up or shut up. Because everyone, they should have been in, they should have been out, they shouldn't have got in there. Okay, you've got 2 losses. You've made it to the playoffs, or you've made it to some big games. Now prove it. If you really are the real deal, UCF, if you really are the real deal, Navy, Army, all these kind of smaller... Iowa State. Like, if you really are them, then prove it. Right. If not, shut up.
But now you have Iowa State right now at number 9.
Yep.
And you would have taken it probably, if it was just last year, you would have all the Cyclone fans screaming and yelling, why aren't we number 5? Why aren't we number 4? Why aren't we? And there's a lot less bickering now because they know that if they keep winning, they're going to be in and they're going to have their chance.
Right,
and,
for sure.
And so now with the scheduling, because bowl games during our lifetime, Hayden, I mean, when we were younger, bowl games actually meant something.
They did.
And now as we've gotten older, bowl games, a lot of the NFL prospects and stuff like that are in college don't play in those games.
Yep.
The bowl games became a lot less important. Now, college football, I'm telling you, is going to just own the month of December.
Oh, for sure.
When these games are scheduled and they're played, they're just going to absolutely own it because the NFL started seeing this and they started scheduling games on Saturday.
They did. Yep.
So for the college football fan, and you're a lot bigger college football fan than me. I'm more of an NFL guy. You're more of a college football guy. It's going to reward us as the college football fans.
For sure.
And it's going to be so much fun.
No lulls, big games, a lot at stake. Players are going to play.
Yep.
Especially we could even go NIL another time, but NIL is huge. I'm already getting paid $1.5 million a year if you're a stud, $2 million. So it's not going to hurt me to play in a bowl game, especially when we come playoff time, all of that. So,
but if I'm a starting quarterback, let's say, and I'm playing in the, discount tire hair care salon bowl, nobody's going to get
strong bowl. Yeah.
Nobody's going to care. But if I'm competing in a big playoff game to go win a national championship, that's going to enhance your draft status.
For sure.
So I think it works out well. And, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, I'm a big Minnesota sports fan.
Yes.
So
pray for him, y'all.
Pray for me. All Minnesota sports. That's go Lynx.
Go Lynx.
Go Lynx.
Go Lynx.
They might be faltering a little bit, but so that's my background. I've moved all over the country, lived all over the country, but Minnesota is still home. So those are the teams I follow. And yeah, tell everybody a little bit about your sports background.
Well, I could have gone pro in 2.5 sports, so that's
course.
the man upstairs had some different plans for me. So, Now, at the end of the day, I'm a huge Michigan fan. Now, I've been kind of all over the country as well. I lived in South Carolina and Columbia, so went to a lot of Gamecock football. So that was like some fun football in my college days. And so I still have a love for the Gamecocks. So I try to watch them as much as I can. Michigan, I grew up in Michigan. I'm a true go blue guy all the way through. I was a hater of Harbaugh. But he did what he needed to do, so I appreciate that. And to this day, I love him, and I think he's one of the greatest of all time. We talked about that another time. And I'm a big Bills fan, so It's kind of odd being in Michigan. Like, we're both like, forget Detroit. We don't even care if we live in Michigan. No Detroit. I'm a big Bills fan. I tailgate there every year. We've got our table broken by fellow Bills Mafia, and so we can talk hockey. I'm a big Laker fan. I'm a bigger LeBron James fan, which that's a whole nother conversation. We got lots of conversations just sitting in the
Jordan forever,
in the
baby.
refrigerator. Nah, he's a Jordan fan. Fine. LeBron is clearly the better player. And so let us know in the comments what you think, because I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts. But yeah, that's kind of me. I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of sports.
Speaking of Michigan, they got a big game against Illinois this week.
They do.
I mean, that game is going to be
big ranked game.
Big. It is. Both teams are ranked in Champaign.
Yep.
How are you feeling about that game?
Well, there's been a lot of talk over the bye week. Sources are saying that they're a new team. Joe Klatt just came out saying that, we're going to see a completely different Michigan that's going to compete the rest of the year. They're going to blow us away. Man, I hope Joel's right. I love Joel Klatt. I love Gus Johnson. I love watching them commentate. I love that so much.
True elite football minds.
Football minds.
You can tell when they have a true passion for it and when they're just collecting a check.
For sure. I'm concerned still, like, any Michigan fan, the whole quarterback situation. I'm still, after watching these games, how the heck Tuttle wasn't the guy to begin with. I know he was injured a little bit, but to wait until game 6 or whatever game 6 to play him, I mean, he's clearly a better quarterback. Not great. And I think the hard thing is people blame the quarterbacks. Yes, Michigan quarterbacks are god awful. We all know it. However,
I think JJ was pretty good.
JJ was good, right? JJ was good. But however, we don't have any receivers that are getting separation. We have Colson Loveland, a tight end. And he's the one guy that we can get the ball to, but he's been hurt. And so it's really hard just for a quarterback to find guys in the open space. And so you've got to find ways to get Donovan Edwards on the outside, get him these screen passes, get him going. You got to be able to just get in the old tool belt and figure out, what can we do to make this work? We got a long season ahead. You got to be able to go toe for toe. Illinois' offense is no joke. They can put up points. Oregon's offense is no joke. They can put up points. And if we can't match that tempo and putting up points like that with big plays, we're going to be in big trouble. So I feel good about our running game.
Do they win Saturday?
I think we're going to win.
Okay.
I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be close, but I think it could be a statement. I think it can give Michigan's a glimmer of hope that we might not lose 5 games. We might lose 4. But we'll see. It's a ranked game, and it's another game for Michigan to show you got it or you don't.
Yeah, I mean, with Michigan coming off the bye, too, I mean, those other games, I mean, they barely beat Minnesota, and they got handled pretty well against Washington. So you had a bye week. To me, for Michigan, it's how do you come out offensively against this Illinois team? And I know I just got done saying that, hey, you can lose a few games and still get in the playoff. But this is a big make-or-break game for both teams because of their schedules going forward. Illinois has to play Oregon next week.
They do.
The number 2 team in the country. Michigan obviously still has to play Ohio State at the end of the season. So it's almost like if these 2 teams, if one of them is going to make a push for the playoff, they have to win this game. Both of them.
Absolutely.
And so I like Michigan on Saturday because they had the bye week. I think they have the coaching there to be able to get the offense going.
For sure.
And again, watching Michigan football, they still have the offensive line. They still have the road grading offense that can win games by running the ball. The question is in those 3rd and long situations, can they convert? Can they keep drives going?
Right.
To to put up 30, 35 points a game, because that's what you need. And I think J.J. McCarthy last year with the national championship, I think is a little bit, for Michigan fans specifically, a little bit more understandable of what you guys had. And,
right, for sure.
And not really a system quarterback, but a playmaker in crunch time and very clutch.
Absolutely. Well, it helps when you can line up 7 guys on the line and run down your throat like they did to Penn State 62 times straight. And it leaves some of the pressure off of the quarterback. We don't have that type of line this year to make that type of impact to be able to. And it's crazy because I think Khalil Mullings is a beast. I'm even willing to say that he's better than Blake Corum.
That's a bold statement.
Fundamentally believe it. I think he runs stronger, harder, and he might even be faster than Blake Corum. So I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I love Blake Corum. But I feel like he's a hoss, and he just needs to get a good push. And that dude right there, man, just watch. And I think Edwards is going to show up too.
Yeah. So I like Georgia, and you like Texas, and we both like Michigan. The other ranked game, the last one where 2 ranked teams are going against each other, you got Alabama going to Tennessee. Number 7 Alabama against 11th ranked Tennessee. I like Alabama in this one. I think going into Tennessee might be a little bit of a challenge. Yes, they lost to Vandy. Yes, they almost lost last week. But Tennessee just got off playing a big – we watched that game.
Yeah,
we watched the Florida-Tennessee game last week, and it was just so physical and draining. You could tell that it was a big rivalry game.
Yep.
And so when you come off that big high of beating a big rival like that in a really hard physical game, I think it's setting up for Alabama to come in and take care of business and bounce back, and I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama's no joke. No doubt about it. They're still Bama. I know people are kind of already throwing them out. It's like, dude.
Tennessee's getting 2.5 at home.
Which makes sense, though. It's a volatile place.
Yep.
They are kind of under the radar a little bit. They're probably, they're 7. Are they ranked 7?
Alabama is 7. Tennessee is 11.
Tennessee's 11. So they only got one loss.
They only got one loss.
I think it's crazy that they're not talked about more. I don't hear anything about Tennessee. So I think Tennessee's going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. I think Tennessee's going to give Alabama everything that they want and more. I'm going to go Tennessee going to win this game. I'll take 2.5.
Outright?
Outright. I think they're going to beat them.
You don't need the points?
I don't need the points. Outright, they're going to beat them. They're going to beat them. If it was in Tuscaloosa, it's a different conversation. But I think Alabama's had 2 rough ones back to back. And either A, they come out angry and they fix the mistakes. Their secondary struggles. They get picked apart. Their D-line's not really getting a push. So they better fix some things because it's going to be a long rest of the year. There's some games that are still on that calendar that they better be careful. And so I think Tennessee wins this one. Yeah. I really do.
That's
hot take. That's the hot take right there.
It's going to be good. But like I said before, I mean, we have 3 ranked games of both teams being ranked facing each other.
Yep.
And it's mid-October. This is awesome.
This is like prime time.
It is, and it's a prime time for sports too, because you have all the 4 major men's sports going on at the same exact time. We got October baseball, we got playoff baseball, we got the NHL starting, we have
basketball.
By the way, I think we both really like the Dodgers winning the World Series.
Sure. It's over.
I would love to see a Mets-Indians.
That would be so cool. So
World
random,
Series,
but cool. You know what I mean?
Yes, but
I
think the Yankees. I think the Yankees and the Dodgers are clearly, of the postseason baseball we've watched, are clearly the 2 best teams.
For sure.
And we'll see what happens in those championship series.
For sure.
So yeah, and it's funny because we started this podcast too. You were kind of uploading some videos last week with Oregon, Ohio State. And it was so funny because we were watching college football. It's kind of what we do on Saturdays. I come over and we smoke cigars and watch college football. And you sent out a reel saying that Ohio State was going to beat Oregon
here we go.
by 2 touchdowns. And it was so funny because as soon as Ohio State lost, I just heard your phone just pinging, just ping.
Oh, that didn't last. That didn't last long. That didn't last. Yep.
So
For sure, man.
we decided to take those miserable, terrible takes.
That's it.
And broadcast them.
That's it. Yep, 100%. That's, you're welcome, world. You're welcome. I still think Ohio State's a better team. I still think Oregon's overhyped. I'm not impressed with them. They beat Ohio State. Good for them. You're in Eugene.
Thing is, with Oregon last week, I mean, they had some big calls go against them, and they still won.
They
and
did.
That's, like I told you, nothing frustrates me more in watching a football game than mismanaging the clock.
Oh, for
because
sure. For sure.
There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
And so when Ohio State did that, it was. I'm not even an Ohio State fan.
Right.
But I was so mad.
Yeah, for sure.
When you have, first he burned, 20 seconds or whatever.
20, for sure.
Not even realizing that the ball was reset.
Right.
And then you ran a QB draw with 5 seconds to go. Oh, I was so heated and mad.
Like, this is college. This isn't Rocket Pee Wee football anymore, bro. Like, you guys are making some serious money now, too. If I'm an NIL guy, NIL guy, I'm like, man, I'm taking some of my money back this week, man. That's horrible.
Right.
That's horrible, man. Because I fundamentally think that they would have beat him with a field goal. Mm-hmm. If he would have slid, they'd kick that field goal and won it. And it sounds like I'm, like, rooting for Ohio State. I'm not. I will tell you, I don't like either team at all, and I don't like Pac-12 teams in the Big Ten. So part of me was like, no, I want these Pac-12 teams to shut up. Mm-hmm. Like, your West Coast offense crap don't work here. Well, it worked Saturday.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm impartial about it. I don't like either team. I'm glad they lost, but it bothered me. And I still think Oregon's overrated. But that quarterback showed up, and there's some speed. And hey, man, you put up that kind of points against one of the best teams in the country. There's something to be said there. So
there is, and just so you know, I mean, if you guys are just tuning in on the cigars too, at the end, we're going to give a 5-band rating on what we think of these cigars that we previewed for you at the beginning of the show. One obviously being not very good, and 5 being we would definitely buy it. And,
do it again, and you need to buy it.
Yep. So we're also recording this on Thursday.
Yep.
So we are recording this on Thursday about an hour before kickoff for the Broncos and Saints tonight. NFL action, how you feeling going into this big Sunday?
I'll tell you, man, I will say this, what a fun season it's been in the NFL. I feel like this has been one of the funnest seasons in a while. Mm-hmm. A lot of good teams, a lot of fun matchups. Really cool to see some of the rookies show up and make some serious noise. It's been a really fun season. So this weekend, man, should we go there? Did we talk about?
Yeah, we can. So we said at the beginning of the show too, we were going to make all the NFL picks every single week against the spread.
You want to read them off? You want to make some picks?
I'll make some picks. I'll start this week. We'll trade off each week.
I'm gonna grab the paper. We got it all printed out, world.
It's on the back.
It's on the back.
So our goal, what we were thinking of doing, and I was thinking of calling this the pigskin prognosis.
Fantastic. Strong word. If you like that, put that in the comments. Yes,
if you
that's
don't,
a great word.
We can axe it. But
that's right. Or ourselves, because maybe this whole podcast doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah,
but we're here, baby. We're here for all of it.
So yeah, we're gonna make picks against the spread. Our goal is to hit 60%. If you're hitting 60% against the spread,
hey baby,
you're making money. So that's our goal. That's
right.
our goal. We'll keep track. We'll review every week.
Yep.
To see where we're at. Unless we're in like the 40s and 30%, because then we'll just give up the segment.
Yeah, it's all done. We're so bad at it, we don't want to do it no more. All right, week 7.
Week 7.
Let's talk.
Here are the picks.
Here we go. This is happening tonight in just under an hour. We got the Broncos, Saints, minus 2.5. The Broncos. What are your thoughts here?
I like the Broncos. I'm not a believer in Spencer Rattler.
He's only played one game.
I know, but it takes so long to get into the NFL and get a rhythm going, and I don't think it happens this week. I definitely like, and
it's in New Orleans.
It is in New Orleans. Keep in mind, I'm not a believer in Bo Nix. Never was.
You never do. This man does not like Bo Nix at all, because he also has some Auburn.
He had some Auburn ties.
You're an Auburn guy.
I am somewhat of an Auburn guy. I'm still, like I said, Minnesota sports, so I love the Gophers. But my parents lived in Alabama.
He really doesn't love the Gophers. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's like a true Minnesota fan where, like, he calls himself a fan, but he hates them more than anything in this world. So I'm going to just say that.
I hate my team while watching it until they win, and then
he's
I
like,
can
"They're
just
the
relax
best." It's
and
great.
then prepare for next week for my negativity to shine. I'm very much like butterfly effect. Like I have to pound the negativity to get a positive result. That's what I really truly feel with all the abuse and neglect I've taken over the years. Keep in mind, folks, as a Minnesota sports fan, I'm 33. So you got the Twins, you got the Wild, you got the Timberwolves, and you got the Vikings. I have not seen one of my 4 teams play, not win, play in a championship game. Vikings have never played in a Super Bowl. Timberwolves have never played in the finals. Twins have never played in a World Series.
Oh, my God.
And the Wild have never pplayed in a Stanley Cup in my lifetime.
Right.
That's
bad.
It's very unheard of. Anyway, I'm not a Bo Nix fan.
No.
I think he's getting a little bit of the hang of it. I think
he had a decent game last week.
Well, a lot of those rookie quarterbacks that came in, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, who's balling out now, Bo Nix, they were like, all these rookie quarterbacks. It's like it takes a little bit. And so I think he's getting a little bit better. That defense, Patrick Surtain, with Denver, I just think they got something going. They had an impressive win last week against the Raiders.
They did.
Give me I'll lay down 2.5 for the Broncos. I think they win tonight.
Wow. All right. I will say this. I think Spencer Rattler is going to solidify himself.
Oh, jeez.
I do. He's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. No, actually, I don't even know how he made it to the NFL. But he did have a
he made it because Derek Carr is hurt.
That too. He's always like 10th round. That doesn't even exist. And yeah, it's really bad. But anyway, shout out, Spencer. You're doing all right, buddy. Okay, so we also have the London game, which is always interesting when people go overseas and compete and all of that. So you got the Patriots and the Jaguars. They got 5.5.
5.5?
5.5
for the Patriots.
For the Patriots.
Wow, they're giving the. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. And Jacksonville.
And two horrible teams.
Here's the thing: if Jacksonville loses, they're just going to stay over in London, become the London Jaguars.
That's it. They might as well, man. R.I.P. Trevor Lawrence, man. It's been a rough go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Doug Peterson's coaching for his job right now.
Gosh.
Give me the Jags. I don't see them losing this game. They know London. Drake May coming in. That's going to take a long time to adjust. Give me the Jags. They're going to get their win, and they'll improve to 1-5.
Yeah, right.
Whatever they are.
Right,
now. So
right. Okay.
Give me the Jags.
All right. Now we got the Texans and the Packers. This is an interesting one. They got -2.5 at the Packers.
Green Bay they're good.
They are good.
They are good. I think.
I don't like Jordan Love either.
That's tough.
He's bad to the bone right now.
Right.
He's looking pretty good. This is
tough.
a tough matchup.
Anytime there's a pick 'em and it's less than 3, I always try to take the favorite.
Yep.
I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna take the Texans. I think.
Good pick.
I know I'm a Vikings fan, but gosh, that's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a really good game with C.J. Stroud. I think Houston pulls one out here. Jordan Love's been having a little bit of trouble turning the ball over, but he looked so good last week.
He did. Kind of like the old Jordan Love.
Yeah, kind of like the old Jordan Love, throwing dimes off his back foot and stuff like that.
Yep.
But this is a type of game where if you're gonna solidify for the Texans, if you're gonna solidify yourself as like an AFC Championship favorite to go to that game, you win this game.
Right.
And it's not like it's December, January in Lambeau. It's October. It'll be, relatively, not freezing cold. So
do you think weather affects
absolutely
the warmer parts of the country coming to the colder parts of the country? Do you really think it has an actual effect on the warmer country, warmer state people?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the Dolphins and Chiefs last year. Look at that playoff game last year. I mean, it basically that cold basically immobilized Tyreek Hill, the fastest, most explosive guy in in the NFL right now, in my opinion. It immobilized him because it was just so cold. I mean, that's how the Vikings back in the 70s got to all their Super Bowls. I mean, they were playing teams that were just as good, if not better for them than them in the 70s against the Rams and other teams. And they were so miserable when they would get off that plane because they knew they were going to have to go into single-digit Metropolitan Stadium in Minneapolis and play the Vikings. And that type of cold, for somebody that's not used to it, it just changes. It slows everything down, like your muscle memory and everything like that. So if you're not used to it, Bud Grant used to say, "We make the cold our friend." So the Vikings back in the 70s, they would practice in the cold. They would catch footballs, kick, do everything in the cold.
Yep.
So they would get adjusted to it and get used to it. And in fact, Bud Grant never even allowed heaters on the sidelines. It totally enhanced their home field advantage for Minnesota. So I really do believe it plays a big factor.
All right. I like it. So you're
But
going.
I'm still taking the Texans.
And all that said, he's taking the
I'm
Texans.
taking the
people.
Texans. We're in October. We're not in late December.
That's
yet,
right.
so.
Although it's been chilly. I woke up this morning and there was frost everywhere. And I
Yeah,
was
but
like,
there's a difference between 45 and 50 degrees and 2.
Dude, there's a huge difference. Ain't that the truth? All right, here we go. We got Seahawks at the Falcons. They got +3 with the Seahawks. 1 p.m. game. What do you think? Seahawks are a little hot.
It's Kirktober, man. This is when Kirk shines is October. The Seahawks are interesting because they've lost 2 weird games. Those 2 weird games against the Giants and then a shootout against the Lions a couple weeks ago. I think they bounce back here. And so I think give me the points. I'll take the Seahawks on the road against Kirky boy.
I like it. It's a good choice. Okay, Dolphins at Colts, and they have -3 with the Colts. So what's your take there? That's an interesting one. Didn't the Colts win last week? Did they have a good game last week?
Why are you asking me that?
I know.
I don't follow the Colts.
I know no one follows the Colts, but I feel like they had a good game.
That's going to be a funny game because those are 2 teams that had really high expectations, I think, with their quarterback situation.
For sure. R.I.P.
With Anthony Richardson and
Tua.
Tua
Tagovailoa.
to a T. That's what I'm.
To a T, baby. To a T out there. To a T.
I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this one.
Okay. Let's go Eagles at Giants, and they got +3 with the Giants. So, what are your thoughts?
Eagles.
Giants.
I think
Giants are on a downhill.
Yeah, that game was ugly against the Bengals on Monday night.
Bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles. I think they're getting things back. I mean,
They are starting to get
Sirianni.
hot.
They were talking about him losing his job and stuff like
Yep,
that.
they
So
were.
I think they're back. I think Giants got a little bit of a fluky, I guess you could say, maybe win against the Seahawks. They played great. They got a block kick for a touchdown, and so they won the game. But I think the Eagles are the better team. I think they cover here, 3 points. Give me the Eagles.
All right. I would say the same thing. How about the Bengals and the
Bagels,
Browns?
huh?
Bagels. We're going to have some bagels out there. Shout out to any bagel company out there. Would love for you to send us some of your stuff. We'll always shout you out.
The bagels versus the biscuits?
Yeah, the bagels against the biscuits.
Biscuits are laying 1.5 points.
Yeah, Pillsbury biscuits. How about the biscuits that like tear apart like in layers? No? Okay, never mind. I won't even go there.
Talking about a croissant?
No.
Oh, the flaky.
The flaky ones that you can like pull off.
Yep.
Anyway. So the Bengals and the Browns, they got -5.5. Bengals. Some of the smoke hit me.
I'm gonna take the Bengals. I think the Browns are a dumpster fire right now. The Deshaun Watson situation,
That whole thing.
It's bad. Bengals had a terrible game again against the Giants. Joe Burrow, when they interviewed him, first thing he said was, "That was ugly."
That was
Yep. I think they can get the offense going. That offensive line for Cincinnati has to hold for. I mean, they have to play better. They have to be able to give Joe a little bit of protection. You've seen what happened against the Ravens. Dude threw 5 touchdowns. He had decent protection. If you give Joe decent protection, he can make hay. Dexter Lawrence again for the Giants. He can wreck a game, and that's kind of what he did. Bengals still got out of there with a win. I think the Bengals win and cover. It's a division rivalry game, so I think it will probably be closer than what they think, but I still think they cover that 5.5. Give me the Bengals.
Okay. I'm a little disappointed in the Bengals. I mean, I thought that they were going to be a big contender this year. They just haven't been, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get out of whatever the funk they're in. I said funk. I didn't curse.
Their defense just plays so horribly at the beginning of the season that Joe couldn't overcome that by himself.
Right.
And then when Joe started to play, semi-decent, the defense just could not hold teams.
Right.
Now the defense is playing better, but Joe can't get the protection to keep the offense moving. So
for sure.
If they can get those things to gel, I could see the Bengals getting a little bit momentum here. Which I hope they do because I love Joe Burrow. I just really like him. But the Bengals really need this game. I think if they come out and they win convincingly, I think you could start to see Cincinnati start to crawl back up the standings a little bit and start giving some of those top teams. Because this division, but the AFC North, it's up for grabs. The Ravens are clearly the class. But if you want to take care of the Steelers, if you can take care of the Browns, you can maybe sneak in for a wild card. We'll see. I know I said it's up for grabs. Ravens are probably going to win it, but
probably. Anything can happen, though. Anything can happen.
I'm a big believer in Joe Burrow.
He's a dog, man. He's cocky. I was listening to someone recently, and there's a reporter. They said he was one of the most hated players in the NFL. Said he talks so much trash. And he's so arrogant. But I love that attitude.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
He's a straight
gamer. So I love it. All right, we spent a lot of time talking about the Bengals and the Browns.
Hey, no, we didn't spend a lot of time. We didn't spend. Next 3 we'll go rapid fire.
Okay, rapid fire.
Not the Bengals. My man Joe Burrow. That's what
he almost deserved it a little. He deserved a little tick though. He's all right. He's all right. All right, Raiders Rams. They got Rams -6.5. That's a whole other conversation.
Give me the Raiders and the points.
Okay, Raiders and the points. Really?
Yeah. I thought we were going rapid fire.
Okay, sorry. We'll keep going. All right.
Are we really going to delve into to Gardner Minshew and Brock Bowers now?
We can talk through it all, baby. How about the Panthers and Commanders? They got 8.5.
Commanders roll.
Commanders roll, obviously. All right. I don't even know why Panthers are even playing anymore. Just call it. It's been just a horrible, horrible thing for the last God knows how long. Ron Rivera just ran them right out of the state. Just bad all around. Bad ball. Chiefs 49ers. Big game, -1.5. They got 49ers.
It's hard to go rapid fire when it's a rematch of the Super Bowl.
This is a big one right here.
But we'll keep it pretty quick.
I go Chiefs.
Yeah, they're 5-0. They haven't even played their best ball yet, and they're 5-0.
Right.
49ers are so banged up. You can almost visually see when you watch the 49ers, the windows start to close. With the age of Kittle and stuff like that. They beat the Seahawks last week, but it's like you can kind of see that age. It's a long season. I worry about that a little bit, but I like the Chiefs. I don't think a 1.5 is enough.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, the Jets and the Steelers. They got the Steelers at 1.5.
Devontae Adams, he's a Jet now.
He's got some weapons.
He does. This season with Aaron reminds me a lot of the 2010 Brett Favre.
But his line ain't giving him a lot of time either. Aaron has spent a lot of time on his back.
Yep, but this reminds me a lot of the 2010 season with Brett Favre in Minnesota, where Brett came back. He came back. That's when the Vikings picked up Randy Moss in
Yep.
the offseason, so they were trying to do all these things, and the
Yep.
bottom line was, dude, you're just not good anymore. Like, you're not at that level anymore. I
Right.
still think Aaron Rodgers is a top 20 quarterback in the world, but he's not top 3, top 4,
You
top
mean
5
top 20
anymore.
who's ever played? Greatest.
No, I mean like in the NFL right now.
Top 20?
Top 20.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean he's not playing. He's not playing very well.
No.
And
I mean,
I
Aaron
mean,
Rodgers,
would you put him top 10 right now? Right now,
it's hard not to. It's Aaron Rodgers, man.
it's
the
know,
brand,
but that's what
man.
they've been saying. That's what they've been saying. They've been saying, but it's Aaron Rodgers. When he got hurt, we got to bring him back. But it's Aaron Rodgers. It's like, yeah, but you're not winning games, man.
You're not.
Like,
but
and
his line
it's a
sucks.
team sport. I understand. It's a team sport.
And he
I
only has
understand
one
that,
receiver. He's only been throwing.
But
to
now
one
he's
person.
got two.
Now he's got two.
But he's also got Lazard, who he wanted. He got the coach fired. He got the offensive coordinator replaced. And
I think he's the offensive coordinator now.
pretty much.
You
And
better
so-
just let him call.
My thing is that if he goes out and loses this game, the season's done for the Jets. Season's over. You
Right.
might as well pack it in.
Right.
Because we talked about this too. Like when you're now getting into week 7, 8, 9, you're starting to see NFL teams
Yep.
really start to separate.
themselves. Right.
Yep.
For sure.
You're starting to see teams, we're 1-4, 1-5. Like
Yep.
this is tough. I got to start thinking about my health here.
Right. Absolutely. That's right.
And not saying they won't play hard or anything, but you're starting to see teams separate themselves. This is a must-win for the Jets. If they lose this game, season's done,
it.
in my opinion.
That's it.
That could come back to haunt me, but I like the Steelers in this one because I just don't. Until I see more from Aaron, I can't put my faith in the Jets anymore. 'Cause
They're in
I'm a
Pittsburgh,
big
too.
Aaron Rodgers guy too. I watched him torch the Vikings for however many years. And by the way, Vikings played very well against Aaron Rodgers. I think when Aaron played the Vikings, we won like 40 or 50% of the time. So it's not like he owned us like he owned the Bears.
Right.
But I've watched a lot of Aaron Rodgers football. I still think I mean he's future HOF,
Right.
But I got to see more. If Devontae Adams solves that, great. We can have that conversation in a couple weeks' time, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I kind of hope it does.
Right.
Because I want to see Aaron play well. I know he's past 40 now and stuff like that. But I got to see more, and so I'm taking the Steelers.
And I think it's a good pick. You're in Pittsburgh. It's a rough, hostile place. That's a big a rivalry between those two. It's a nasty game. It's fun to watch. Kind of a small rivalry, but it's a rivalry. For some reason, I had Philadelphia in my head, but scratch that. Doesn't matter. Whatever. No one really cares about the
Like I
Jets
said,
or the Steelers.
college, pro.
No one really cares about the Jets and the Steelers anyway. Ravens and Bucks. They got -3.5 with the Ravens. I'm gonna tell you this: go Bucks all day.
3.5?
3.5.
Wow.
I want to see the Ravens lose.
That's a lot of points to give for Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker is he threw 3 picks last week,
He did.
but he also threw 4 touchdowns.
So
So
you know what I mean.
3.5. That's too many. I mean, that's a lot of points. I mean, yeah, I would go Bucks there. I would agree with you. I would go Bucks. I think if it was less than 3, I think I would hammer Ravens all day.
Yep.
But the Bucks are good. They're a good
They
team.
are. They
They're a
really
good
are. They're
team.
sneaky, man. They're just sticking around.
Is that one in Baltimore?
No, it's in Tampa.
It's in Tampa.
Yep. That's the way you have it written on this piece of paper.
Well,
so we can get this all messed up, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they're home dogs in Tampa, -3.5, I would take Tampa. I would take Tampa for sure.
Fun atmosphere. If you ever get a chance to go to Tampa and watch a game, it's
I feel
unbelievable.
like I would be watching the game, and those cannons would literally scare me every 2
They
seconds.
did. They did for me because I've only been. I live here, but I was in Tampa last year, and I went to a game, and I forgot that that's something that they do, and I thought Armageddon. I thought something is bad. You know what I mean? But I found out what it was, and so yeah. Anyway, cool environment, all that. All right, here we go. Chargers and Cardinals. They're playing in Arizona. They got 2.5 with Cardinals.
Is that minus 2.5 or plus?
They got plus 2.5.
Plus 2.5 for the Cardinals. So Cardinals are getting 2.5 points. I'm gonna take the Chargers. Take the Chargers. I think Harbaugh will take care of it. I like the Cardinals. I feel like they're kind of ascending a little bit.
They are.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
might be questionable.
Yep.
He's a big loss if he can't go on Sunday.
I think the Chargers has one of the top defenses in the league, maybe the top.
Yeah,
They're only allowing 13 points a game.
Yep.
Jesse Minter got them boys cooking, just like he did with Big Blue. So I'm always going to go with that.
You just had to bring up a Michigan player.
I had to, man. I mean,
who else is on the Chargers?
Dude, I don't even know anymore, but I'll be honest with you. Jim Harbaugh's a coach, though, a heck of a guy. He's a winner. Wins everywhere he goes. I would go Chargers. Not that I'm making any picks.
Yeah, I'd take Chargers at 2.5. I think they can cover. Look out for J.K. Dobbins. I think he's getting something going there because
great relationship with Jim Harbaugh too.
Yes,
those two. So
yeah. I'll take Chargers.
Okay. All right. We're gonna.
I know what that last one is.
We're gonna plan ourselves here for a second. We got the game of the week. We're going to highlight this as the game of the week. Everyone knows it. It's being talked about. We got the Lions in Minnesota against the Vikes, and they got plus 1.5 for the Lions. All right, Vikings fan, let's hear it, buddy. Take us home, buddy.
I'm gonna take Detroit.
Of course. He has money against them, too. I guarantee he has money against his own team.
If you're out there and you're a stressful sports fan like me, when your team plays, bet against who you're playing or bet for who you're playing. That way, if your team loses, you made some money.
That's right.
If your team wins, you're happy. Your team won.
Yeah.
But,
this is scary, though, because if they come to Minnesota and beat you in Minnesota, then you got to turn around and play them at home later on.
Let's break this down a little bit. I believe, first of all, Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Vikings, if the turnover is either favored by the Vikings or they're even, meaning they both teams turn the ball over the same amount of times, or the Vikings won the turnover battle, he's 21-0.
Yeah.
So turnovers are going to be a huge part of it. The reason I would go with the Lions is that
because of what they did to Dallas last week.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. The thing to watch in this game is, can the Vikings stop the run? Because in my opinion, I think the Lions still have the best offensive line in pro football. Now the Vikings, they're very much a positionless defense. And what I mean by that is that you'll have a safety that might come up and play on the line of scrimmage. You might have a Andrew Van Ginkel who could be linebacker, DE, or he could drop into the flat or into coverage. You've seen him pick off Aaron Rodgers 2 weeks ago and take it to the house. He already has 2 pick sixes. The problem with that is that Detroit's offensive line is so big and so physical and just runs people down. If the Vikings can't stop that and quelch that, it's going to be a long day for the Vikings. And I think it's going to be a close game, but my prediction is that it's going to be a close game. I could see the Lions going up maybe 7 or 10 points, early fourth quarter, late third quarter, and then they just run that ball and bleed that clock, and the Vikings can't do anything about it. That's what I worry about. I don't think we have the interior defensive line to stop Detroit's run. And I think that's going to be a problem. That's what's going to extend drives. That's what's going to keep that defense on the field. And I think that's what's going to help propel Detroit to win this game. Do I think the season's over and that the Vikings are done? No. But I still have to see more from this Vikings team. A lot of people have jumped on this Vikings team. I like this Vikings team. I don't love this Vikings team yet. Because yes, they beat the Texans, they beat the Niners, they beat those teams, but I feel like
the Packers.
They beat
the Jets. They've
beat some really good teams. I think a lot of people picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl or to win the Super Bowl this year.
Not happening. Sorry, Lion fans. Not happening.
This is a big test. And by the way, I checked on Ticketmasters. You know how much it is to get into this game? You know what the get-in price is for this game?
No.
$300. With fees and Ticketmaster, it's like $250 without fees. With fees, you're looking at like three hundo to sit in the nosebleeds to go to this game.
What is wrong with Minnesota, man?
This game is huge.
I mean, there's a lot on the line.
Why it's a 1 p.m. game, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That'd be sick.
I think it's law that the Lions and Vikings have to play at 1 o'clock.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Play an early game because they've played so many.
Right.
But Vikings fans are weird because we don't like the Bears and we despise the Packers, but we're kind of okay with the Lions. But now they're starting to get a little bit more tood. They're starting to get more swagger and stuff. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, they've won their first division last year for the first time in, since we were fetuses.
Yep.
So, coming off the bye, Kevin O'Connell's 2-0. I'd love to see it go 3-0, but I do have the Lions. That atmosphere in US Bank, I think, is going to be nuts.
Yes.
Which I think will help keep this game close.
Mm-hmm.
If I see the Vikings really come up to bat and knock it out of the park with this run defense, I will buy in. But I'm a little bit concerned about that. And if turnovers play a factor, I don't think it'll get out of hand. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I see Detroit as the more explosive offense, and I think they'll stifle Darnold, just enough to get the win.
Wow. I think it'll be interesting. If here's what I want to see. I want to see the Vikings get up big and keep the lead. They've got up big by like 27 points in first halves. Then they come back and give up 20, almost lose the game. And so we've talked about this. If the Vikings can get up and sustain themselves and make the right adjustments and not come out flat and just say, hey, we're doing well, we don't want to anymore. Here's the ball, do what you got to do, and we're going to make this really close. I'd love to see them come out, get up 10, 12, and keep that lead. If they can do that, I would love it. Would I bet against them? Am I going to bet against the Vikings? Yes. If I'm betting, I'm putting money on the Lions simply because, dude, you didn't even really talk about this. Their run game is disgusting. Their running backs are absolutely unbelievable. The receivers also absolutely unbelievable. I mean, really, really good. Now, there's another receiver on the other side of that ball. So, I want the Vikings to win. I'd like to see it win by about 11, 12. Make a freaking statement. I think it's going to be a volatile atmosphere. I think it's going to be wild. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be ruckus there.
And Lions fans travel pretty well, but Minnesota, because of all the heartbreak that we've dealt with, it's kind of
had enough. They've had enough.
Well, when you're 5-0 and you start to get that belief sense again, that's when you see. I mean, that Niners game in week 2.
Yeah.
60% of the stadium was Niners fans.
Right.
That never happens in Minnesota. That's because there wasn't a lot of belief in this team from the fans. Now you have belief in this team. It's going to be a lot of purple. It's going to be a lot of purple on Sunday. Yep. And
I'm going to wear your purple because I normally you don't normally wear your game stuff. But you said last week that you would wear it if they won that game.
I will wear it. What I've been telling Hayden is that they're 5-0, and every time they're 5-0, I don't wear any Vikings gear. So I'm trying to keep that trend going, and he's giving me grief about it.
Put it on.
You got to put your jersey on. So I will put my jersey on.
Okay.
And if they lose, I will never put that jersey on.
You're going to burn it on camera the next podcast. It's done.
I won't wear purple on Sundays ever again. Because we've been through this before. The Vikings in 2003 and in 2016 started 5-0, and we missed the playoffs. Yes, it's a different team, but there's still scars there from us Vikings fans.
For sure.
You said that you would like to see them go up and keep a lead. I would like to see them go down by 14
and
or 17.
come back because they haven't this year.
Go down 14 or 17 points and then come back. Even if they lose the game, knowing that your team can rally is a big, big thing. Because there's a lot of teams in there where it's like, we have to play with a lead. Dallas. We have to play with a lead. We have to play with a lead. the Vikings have done that. They've only trailed for like 3 minutes this entire season.
Right.
The beginning of the season when we fumbled the ball on our opening possession, and the Giants kicked a field goal,
Yep.
and we were down 3-0,
Yep.
and then we came down and scored a touchdown. That was the last time the Vikings trailed in a game.
Right.
So it's going to be a great matchup.
I'm stoked.
I got the Lions. I'm taking the Lions this week. I hope I'm wrong. You taking the Lions? You taking the Vikings?
I'm taking the Vikings. I'm gonna believe. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna believe simply because I'm not a
You
big
have
fan of the
nothing
Lions.
tied to it.
I got nothing tied to it, but I want to see Vikings win. I really do. I'm cheering them on this year. I think, and I told Jake at the beginning of the year, I said this will be a different Vikings game. I said get excited because this team is
excitement.
This team is gonna. You just ashed all over my basement floor.
I did.
Or my basement floor, my garage floor.
That's a sign.
It's a sign. This is the rest of the season. There goes Minnesota. Yeah. So I believe. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna say go Vikings. Skull Nation, baby.
Cool. All right.
We rating? We reviewing? What do we got? What are we finishing?
We're gonna do take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank.
Real quick, hottest take for this weekend.
Hottest take, Tennessee beats Bama.
No points, nothing else, just Tennessee.
I'm not going to go anywhere else. It's already a bold pick. I'm just going to say they beat Bama. They cover and beat Bama.
Tennessee beats Bama.
Tennessee beats Bama.
All right, my take it to the bank. You guys say take it to the bank.
Take it to the bank. We're like going to coin that. Take it to the bank. Tennessee beats Bama. Take it to the bank.
My take it to the bank. Hot take. I'm staying in college football. Take this to the bank. Georgia beats Texas by more than 7 points.
Wow. Where's the game being played? Do we know?
I think it's in Texas. Yeah. It should be in Texas.
They're beating Texas.
In Texas.
By more than 7.
Yes.
Have you watched any Georgia games this year? They're a different team. They're not the same Georgia team.
I'm going to choose to believe.
All right.
Taking your words.
Hey, I'm going to eat crow next week one way or another. I said a lot of nonsense in this time together. So
yeah, you're still recovering from.
I'm still from the Oregon Ohio State game. So you know what?
I think you put the 2 touchdown slogan, and that's what got everybody riled up.
It did.
So I'm going to try to get everybody riled up. Georgia beats Texas by more than 7.
Wow.
On Saturday.
Wow. And I'd be curious what your hot take is. Drop it in the comments. Who do you got winning? How wrong is Jake in pretty much everything that he said?
You can
let us know.
Yeah.
I want to know what your hot take is. We'll engage. We'll talk. Let's let the banter go. We'll trash talk with the best of them. This is Ash Talk, baby. You know what I mean?
Ash Talk.
So that's what we do.
So that's mine. We're gonna try to maybe do some reviews too.
Yeah.
After the weekend in sports.
Yep.
Talk about where we were wrong, where we were right.
Yep.
Why the Vikings lost.
Yep.
All that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Yep.
So I'm getting down to the nitty gritty on this.
Me too.
San Cristobal.
What'd you think?
I'll tell you. 5 bands.
Okay, give it to me.
Out of 5 bands, I would give it 4.
Ooh.
I would give it 4 out of 5. It's just like it describes. Mm-hmm. It's a medium flavor. Have it in the humidor. You're not going to be disappointed if it's in there.
Yep.
They're about $10 a stick. So, I mean, the price is a big factor, too. I mean, if I'm going to pay $25, $30 a stick, I need a memorable experience.
Right.
This is a type of cigar that you have just on like nights like tonight, days like today, where you're just looking to burn one.
Yep.
Very, very good flavor, smooth, and just very consistent. Very consistent burn. I think you guys seen that too, just on the camera. So it's a quality cigar, nice and tightly wrapped.
Yep.
For the money, I love San Cristobal's.
Yep.
I think they have just an excellent lineup. If you're looking at it's a very good entry level cigar.
Yep.
If you're very Connecticut and very light,
yep,
this might be a little bit too strong for you. But if
Yeah.
you're just looking to get introduced to cigars and you like a little bit more flavor and you like the smell and the taste of the tobacco, this is a excellent cigar to go to. And it's $10 a stick.
Right.
You know, if you don't like it, you can avoid it. But I would give it 4 bands. I would shortlist it. I would definitely shortlist this.
Okay. I like it. This is the Olmec. This is the cigar that I have never tried, nor have I ever heard of. It's very similar. It's just kind of a good medium flavor. I think what's stuck out to me about this one is, some cigars leave a really ashy or like a heavy cigar tobacco taste in your mouth when you're done.
Yep.
This really doesn't have it. It's pretty dang smooth. I would say I would give it a 3.5 bands. And I'll tell you
3.5
why.
bands?
Only reason why I would definitely encourage someone to give it a shot. This could definitely be somebody's favorite stick. This is one that I will smoke again. The problem is this was an $18 cigar.
Oof.
And so when you spend $18 a cigar, and for those out there, price doesn't mean anything. There might be a $7 cigar that's way better than a $32 cigar.
Absolutely.
It just depends on the wrap, depends on even your own palate and what you enjoy.
Yep.
So don't get caught up in the price. Just because it's a lot of money doesn't mean that it's a lot of good. So I spent 18 on this. I would probably rather spend 10. I think it's worth 10, but it's one, like you said, keep it in the humidor.
So you'd consider it? Would you buy it again?
I would buy it again.
Okay, maybe.
It's a safe cigar. It's a good
18's
flavor.
a lot, though.
It is a lot of money for a cigar that, and I got it simply because I've never heard of it. So I was just curious, like, what is this thing? What's the wave about it or whatever? And so it's good. 18, not for this one. So I'd spend 18 on a Monte Cristo. I spend 25 to 30 on a stick. Just depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, good cigar.
And that's the thing, when you're in the cigar and if you're just getting into it, don't go and run and buy a $30, $40 stick.
Nope.
Get your palate adjusted to the cigar.
Yep.
Get the etiquette down, get some of those things down. That's what I kind of had to do. Like I said, Holt Cigars online.
Yep.
You go on there. Anthony has just a ton of videos on there.
Yep.
Trying $10 sticks to see if you like more full, more medium, more light cigars.
Yep.
And then you can kind of try different things. But you got to try different things to figure out where you like to be.
Yep.
And then you can kind of go and increase in budget. That's what I would do.
For sure. Yep.
And that's why I like this San Cristobal Revelation, because it kind of fits the mold on all of those things.
Yep.
Where it's like, if you're a cigar connoisseur, this will scratch that itch.
Yep.
And if you're just getting into cigars, it's not going to overpower you.
Right.
And it's, like I said, I mean, it's $10.
Yep. Can't go
It's
wrong.
worth it can't go wrong. It's worth a try.
For sure.
So I think that's going to wrap it up.
We're going to wrap it up. We don't even have like a sign-off. You have a sign-off? What's the sign-off?
Final thoughts, Hayden?
Final thoughts. My final thoughts are, what are your final thoughts? This is our first time.
Yep.
And so really excited to get feedback. If it's negative, just shoot Jake a text. I'll make sure I throw the number on the screen. If it's positive, man, drop comments. We'd love to see if this is something that people would value. Give us feedback. Hey, you talked too long, or hey, we'd love to hear more about this. Give us ideas, give us thoughts, or hey, you really did a good job with that. Or it's all new. We're just two dudes talking sports in a garage, and so we're in no way professionals. We're using ghetto mics and an iPhone filming us right now, but we love it. And so feedback is always welcome, and I'm excited about where this is going to go.
Ditto. I think we're just having some fun. We're talking sports. Whether we get 2 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, I think we're going to keep doing this just because it's fun. It's fun for us.
Yep.
But like Hayden said, we would love some feedback. So feel free to reach out and connect, and we'll.
Jake, what's your
next time.
Instagram? I'll make sure I tag you.
I don't even know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll tag him. I'll tag him,
Jake,
world. You need to follow him.
Do my thing.
He
Do
needs
the
to
thing
start
and the thing.
being active, and you can start like DMing him stuff like, hey, do something, say something. This is your last post is like from 2013. Like, come on, man.
All right.
Like, let's go.
I think I got a good sign off.
All right, let's go. Give it to
Okay.
us.
All
Give it
right.
up.
That's going to do it for us. Make sure you get into your humidor and light up and watch some sports.
Light up and watch some sports. That's it.
That's it.
Peace out, world.